Welcome back, y'all. We on the blacktop, man. We got D, Mike, me, Martell. If you guys tuned into the last episode we talked about how your circle shapes your future, how your habits drive your success, and staying disciplined amongst your journey and staying true to yourself. So, Mike, D, what's up? What's up with it?
What's up, man?
How was y'all day?
Shit,
You want to go first?
Another great day.
Another great day, man.
Why was it a great day?
Oh, man, we just building daily. You know, we back here. I think last time we spoke, I believe we were talking about some of the challenges we were facing, or me personally, within my industry with the rental car game. That's what I'm doing daily, building on. We're working together and growing. But me personally, I was working on getting financed. And, you know, that was some issues I was having with having 4 vehicles and just the debt to income ratio. But, you know, we ended up getting things worked out. And today, you know, we're faced with, you know, something else. You know, the trackers, we weren't able to get them installed just because, you know, somebody had to run home for a family emergency. So day by day, there's going to be things that try to stop you. But as long as you know what you're going to do and you stay determined, you'll get it done. And it's another day to just compound and get things done. And that's what we're here doing.
That's that paradigm shift. That's that paradigm. Despite what you go through every day, you got to keep compounding, whether you win or you lose. If you lose, you know, take the loss and understand what happened. If you win, keep compounding that. So, Mike, what's up with it?
Yeah, man. It was a beautiful day, man. I fulfilled my good service. You know, I headed over to a fleet deal of mine. I was actually with my brother D right now. You know, he joined me on the daily, and it was cool. It was like a cool little day in life. I was able to knock out my work and get my service done, and you know, come back here. I was trading in the afternoon. You know, we had good FOMC. News dropped today. I was able to catch the right side. And yeah, man, let's compound. Let's tap back in with everybody, bro. Having a good day, bro. How was your day, man?
Man, today was great. Great day. A good day to stick to your rules and trading, discipline, getting up, hitting the gym, compound like them small wins, like D say, and you get 1% better every day. Not every day gonna be a home run. Sometimes you're gonna hit them bases and you're gonna get in there. Everybody gonna run in there. So all the bases is loaded right now. So what we're gonna talk about today is creative ways to scale without a ton of upfront money, whether you're scaling a business or investing or anything, how to scale something while having liquid cash money up front. So who wants to go first? Who has some experience with that? D, I know you got some experience with that.
Yeah, me personally, the vehicle I just bought was, you know, helped with an investor, a partnered investor. They helped me get a down payment of $20,000, and that's out of thin air, you know, using my mind. And just, you know, understanding what I want and, you know, necessarily not worrying about what you don't have, just focusing on what you want and knowing that if you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. And, you know, and not just that investor, you know, there's multiple investors that are coming in, and that's just with not just only the partnership of a mentorship, but also, you know, staying true into that feeling state and not getting thrown off, like we were saying, those little things that go on a day-to-day basis. But just, you know, seeing through it, you know, seeing at that frequency or at that individual perspective that, you know, you're gonna get it done, because at the end of the day, it's already available to you. So, you know, each and every day, whether it's I know we're on the creative ways to scale. To stay on that topic, really is just you know, you could bounce ideas to an investor, you know. You could always shoot a proposal. That's one thing my mentor helped me with. And, you know, put in the full faith into understanding that, hey, somebody, you know, if you have enough belief in yourself, somebody else will believe in you as well. So as long as you have enough proof of concept, you have the knowledge and understanding of what it takes, and, you know, enough proof of concept. And even if you don't have proof of concept with the industry that I'm in, I know as far as with you do trading, Marty, Michael, you're into trading. You know, if somebody is able to give you capital and you have the right understanding, you know, to go ahead and grow their account for them, that's something you can help them do, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So with the rental car industry, that's something that you can do as well. You know, you don't necessarily have to have a car. You don't even have to have, you know, capital from an investor. You can get started with $0 by just having an opportunity to, you know, help somebody else out with the vehicle that they have sitting around. So, you know, with the proper information, you know, that we're providing here on this channel, that's something that you can grow on and, you know, really take serious and, you know, bring into your own life and be able to capitalize on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Say somebody wants to invest with you, like invest and buy a car, but they don't have any money. How would they start?
I mean, well,
without having liquid cash.
without having liquid, I mean, it's to kind of go back to the investor route. Have somebody that's willing to invest.
Okay,
in you,
okay,
you know?
okay,
You know,
okay.
you could bring to them, you know, what we're doing, you know, our proof of concept.
All right.
You know, all the vehicles I have personally, 11 vehicles out and running, and they're all booked. You know, those are a majority economy, but even a C300 Mercedes. But you know, you have 2 personal investor cars. That was some capital that you took upon yourself to put belief in to my vision and what we're building here, and you know, and you know, but as far as having capital, you know, from or just somebody that has the vehicle, you can go ahead and say, hey, this individual is going to go ahead and help me push this vehicle out. We don't have to worry about it. This is what they do. You know, the vehicle stay booked and they're going to get this X return, you know, per month on a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you're able to go from there and just compound your return on investment and continue to, you know, invest in what's bringing you in money.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'll touch on that topic. I got 2 personal cars with Damien with Exquisite Exotics, joint venture rental. The Prius, I didn't buy the Prius cash. I financed the Prius using what? My credit. I leveraged my credit. And if you guys don't have liquid cash, you can leverage your credit to make more money with the money. You know what I mean? And get you something like a 12-month 0% interest card where you're avoiding interest for a year, 6 months or whatever. You have time to get your stuff together and start cultivating that income that you want to have for yourself. And if your credit's bad, understand why your credit's bad. Go to a credit repair specialist. You got investopd.com where you can get your credit better and you can get access to that funding so that you can fund your dream. So, Micah, what's up? What you think? How can you scale some without no Skrilla?
I think a good way to scale without no Skrilla is using your creative mind. And you definitely want to, if you haven't already, make like a cover page of whatever service that you could provide and a proposal, you know, that you could go ahead and go over to any different, you know, services and, you know, imply your more service. Like say, just for example, in my experience is I went to a dealership a service center specifically. So it's not a dealership that has your normal detailer bay and stuff like that, but they have vehicles coming in that they may want to provide services of delivering the vehicle to a customer. They're gonna need a wash, you know, they're gonna need the service of detailing there. And I was able to go there with my investment of, you know, leveraging my credit to start my business and offer those creative proposals, you know, and I was able to land in a real blessing spot. And I'm really working on scaling that now, you know, so a creative way that I could potentially scale, multiply myself working at you know, this business. You know, I got to make proposals. I got to start getting creative ways out there. If you know, start putting the word out. If you want to come detail, or if you detail already, and let me see. D threw me the idea earlier. He was like, "Wash it. Come along with me, bro. I'll pay you to wash this car. Show me how you wash the car. You know, and see if he fits in a good employee or he has a good work ethic and drive. But that's where I'm at right now for using my creativity to scale my business. So I'm looking into that, but definitely you could make like a cover page or a proposal letter. You know, there's a lot of AI out there, a lot of different templates, and you could leverage to, you know, start your business really out of thin air. And it starts with the idea, I think, with the mind. So I think that's where you start getting the money for sure too. Like,
starts with your mind.
Yeah.
The vision for yourself.
To touch a little bit of basis back on that, just kind of having that proposal, that landing page. Really what you're doing is you're putting in the work, but you're doing the proper work. You know, you're thinking forward as to what needs to be done to bring that vision to life. So you having that available is just, you know, bringing you to that, you know, energy, that frequency of, you know, hey, when I see this individual, I'm prepared. I'm ready to, you know, show him my proposal and, you know, be confident on the returns that they'll be getting, you know, on how everything is planned out, what's worked out. You know, that vehicle that I just purchased, yes, I did get $20,000 from an investor, but I also did, to touch on, you know, creative financing, such as, you know, credit cards. I also got a $50,000 credit card that's 12 months from Chase, and that's also going to be able to allow me to pay back my investor and also invest back into my business. So, you know, that's another great opportunity to, you know, kind of tap into both ways of how to get started, or even with no money down and, you know, investing into somebody like Exquisite Exotics. You know, we could go ahead and take on a sitting vehicle that you have, or, you know, if you know somebody that has a sitting vehicle, you know, you can be making revenue and also helping them and providing a service to them. And, you know, it's really endless. You know, you just got to tap into whatever industry you would like to do that with, and I think it's limitless.
There's money out there, guys. There's money out there. Money is everywhere. What did Bob Proctor say? He said something in that video where he was like, the dude was like, "Where are you gonna get the money?" What did he say?
It's already around us.
Yeah,
He
said something. I
wherever
forgot
it's
what he
at
said.
right now.
Wherever it's at right now. That's what it.
Yeah.
Wherever it's at right now. How you gonna get the money? Wherever it's at right now. And sometimes that's just shifting your paradigm, like we discussed last episode, how your circle is around you and everything. If you're throwing an idea out there and somebody's shooting it down, like, how you can get the money? Like, you can't get the money. Like, you want to kind of avoid that negativity and switch that paradigm to figure out how can you get the money? What do you have to start doing to get the money, or start your credit or whatever? You know, reach out to those people. Your net worth is your net worth. You know, reach out to people, DM people. You know what I mean? Talk to people. Open up your mouth. You know, so there's money out there to be made. So
That's crazy. It's an endless supply of an abundance, you know.
Endless
Another
supply.
thing that Proctor would say, he's like, you're already rich, but you're just short of money. It's like, it's an endless, you just tap into the source, and it's just, honestly, it's an abundance everywhere. You look around in the grass, abundance in the leaves, abundance in the air, abundance in the colors, abundance in the energy and everything around you. And that's why it's like, you got to start thinking with that polarity of mindset of, you know, understanding abundance, and you start creating the great ideas, you know, to be able to, you know what you need to move forward on, you know. So that's just pretty dope. Check out Bob Proctor, man. Going back, you know, getting in a little mentorship. This is one of my first ones that I'm really like highly excited about, and seeing actual personal growth, like in a concept of literature and reading. For me, I'm actually exercising a muscle that I don't physically see, but more or less, you know, exercise. You know, I don't know. I've been seeing that. So apply yourself to something like that with a mentor, man. Right now, that's what I'm on.
Apply yourself to supply your will.
You know
what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Let's transition. We're gonna talk about the importance of showing young black men how to create wealth outside of rap, sports, or being in the streets. So, who want to start?
I could tap back into that a little bit. That goes back into your external events, kind of like
Environment.
Your environment. So you could dictate your environment by blocking off everything that's going on around you and creating something like a proposal, or, you know, working on your credit, paying somebody in the meantime, you know, while I'm working this job, I'm going to eventually be able to get this line of credit and know, you know, hey, I have this funding to start this business, and just, you know, stay focused with that. You know, that's the importance of telling these stories, is to kind of give you a perspective on what's available to you, and not to, you know, stay limited within, you know, a certain way of thinking, because there's a lot of things that may be portrayed as the top things to do, or, you know, what's most influenced maybe around you, or maybe what we've been told or seen. So, you know, it's important to expand your mind and, you know, go after what you really want, and not, you know, let those external events really shape your reality, because you could dictate that.
Daily, by the choices you make, the people you hang around with, the habits you have for yourself, you can change that daily. You know what I mean? Whether it's switching up a habit, switching up a group of friends, or even waking up early, that's a start. Or going to the gym, that's a start. And I think that, like, when I was playing football, when I was younger, I was thinking, you know, shit, I want to go to the NFL, I want to go to the league. You know what I mean? I didn't work hard enough during that time. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you don't want to have just one avenue. You always want to kind of have like a, you know, not a backup plan. How do I say that? Because I feel like you're not gonna go as hard as you should for your primary plan if you have a backup plan. No.
Right.
I think skill sets, bro. What do you want to sharpen your skills in, bro? You could be a skillful, you know, person with the mouth. You could be that means you could be going it the wrong way, and, you know, and mislead people. But you also, if you personally good with, you know, gifted with the gab, you can also provide for people and help solve problems and sell. You know what I mean? So it's yeah, man. It's I don't know. I was just thinking about that right now. Like, shit.
How can we break that down? Like,
for me personally, like how I see sports, and it's not in a negative way, it's just for me, and, you know, kind of the drive that I have, or the vision in a sense. But when I was playing sports, because I did have a D1 scholarship out of high school, and I've always had this intuitive feeling as far as like, hey, I'm going to go for the experience. But it wasn't necessarily how I want to go to the league, make it big, because I always felt like that was somebody else's platform. Here we're able to share and collaborate, and, you know, really put out ideas that can impact and change somebody's life. You know, as far as football, you being the individual that's out there putting your body on the line for somebody else's franchise that's forever going to reap the benefit. Obviously, you're getting paid a good amount of revenue, but is that necessarily the message that you want to portray? You know, or as far as the people that come after you, you know, what information or guidance are you going to be able to give them aside from just work hard? You know, because it's more than just working hard.
What value can you provide?
You know, or just go hard out there, you know, with whatever you're doing. Because, you know, you could be out there in the streets and just going hard with whatever you're doing, and that could bump your head and, you know, get you into an environment that you may not have expected. So you got to have directed, you know, attention and awareness as to, you know, your environment and kind of how that is shaping you or has shaped you. Because, you know, it gets to a certain age where you have to make a decision, you know. It's up to you. You know, you can't put the blame on nobody else. So, you know, I think it's important to kind of shell down and center on kind of on what individual you want to become aside from the external events.
I'll double dabble into that as far as being in the wrong environment. I used to sell weed, like when I was in high school. I was selling little dime bags, and I used to go home and watch BMF. I used to go home and watch Snowfall because I was inspired by, you know, the fast money. But at the same time, it's easy come, easy go. That's not something that's necessarily consistent or sustainable. And you have to always look over your shoulder. You never have to always look over your shoulder. You just only have to worry about paying Uncle Sam. You know, so I really build a platform and an infrastructure for yourself that's sustainable and consistent, and something that you can build generational wealth with. You know what I mean?
Skill set, man.
Yeah. You can.
That's what I think it's like that, bro. If you write down and see what kind of skill sets, what kind of version, or like the version, you know, couple in the vision of yourself you see like 10 years ahead of you or some shit, like the perfect version. It could be like anime character if you want your physique right, or what kind of, you know, skill sets would he have? Was he going to be a person to, you know, impact others? And is he a person to be graceful with his decision making, you know, and generously give and graciously receive, you know, and they all and off, you know what I mean? So I think it's a choice of skill sets. Understand what kind of skills you want to be and what you know. That's what I don't know.
10 years is a lot of time.
10 years is a lot of time.
Like, you know, some of you may be older than us, you know, and it really comes down to who do you want to become, you know, what, you know, you got to make a decision kind of to tie back into that. Me personally, I paid $20,000 plus in mentorships. You know, I made a decision, you know, I don't want to be in the same position I was last year. Not even, you know, to think 10 years ahead, you know. So that's just me personally. You know, you could either, you know, take it upon yourself, or you can continue to let your external events, you know, so-and-so didn't get the job, so I don't think it'll go well for me. You know, if you take the time to, you know, get good with any job, they're going to put you behind, teach you how to do something, and you're going to do it. But if you take the time to actually do something that you want to do, don't you think you'll feel a little bit better
Truly
about
want to do
the decision that you made? You know, so it's about the belief and the decision that you make behind anything.
Yeah, those of you working them, you know, the jobs or your career or whatever, you may be happy with where you are and that's your career. But if you know, like deep down inside, subconsciously, that you want to do something else, you're dragging your feet to work, you're not in the right environment when you're at work, you feel like your frequency is lower, then you know you want to get out of that. So kind of use your job as your vehicle to get out of that and to invest into something that's going to grow and elevate outside of your job. So it ain't the end of the world if you're working at the warehouse. I was working at the warehouse. You know what I'm saying? You just got to stack your money up. He worked at a warehouse. Yeah, you know, he worked at Paradise Chevy detailing cars. Stack your money up and invest your money and grow your money, you know, and it'll be exponential. So, yeah, shit.
I think that's your job as your biggest investor, bro. Like, if you look, that's what made me step into like more of the understanding I could grow my money in different ways. You know, online was when I got into trading. And I was saving money up from my checks to buy them funded accounts, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, bro, I literally just had this investor pay $500 for my shit, and I just made goddamn 10 racks off of that shit. That shit was like, man, and I was working at the time too while making that money, so it was pretty like, it's pretty cool, you know. See, I'll go into work with the idea like, man, they don't even know I just made $1,000 trade. You know, like, man, I
it's
walk
the best
around,
of the
yeah,
world.
yeah, but like that's your other investor, bro. Like you're
Yeah.
investing in yourself.
Yeah.
Your job gonna, take that invest money, invest into yourself, bro. Like, I don't know.
You gotta bet on yourself though. If you like, at the end of the day, you playing those sports, you in those arenas, you making those songs. You got other people bet on you, and you got a community behind you as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it just depends, from what stem or what root, how much benefit do you reap from that? Is it something that you could stem off and teach others about, or lead them in a direction to benefit from? So I think that's the importance of not just getting distracted with the easy availability of the streets or rap, the easy access as to what's just portrayed right there in front of you. Go ahead and go after something that has always been your deepest calling, your deepest desire, and sometimes that takes time to sit down and really get into that feeling state.
Hey,
sit down, meditate, reflect, introspection, journal, see what you're doing, look, study your performance and the things you're doing for yourself, and shit. Everybody know they calling. It's just already within you.
Bro. You watching, like, you good for it. Just stay on the black top, keep doing your dribbles on the daily.
Keep doing your dribbles. Shoot the ball. Shoot the ball 10,000 times. Kobe was in there shooting the ball every day, So, shit. Stay on that. I'm going to cut that out.
One take, man. One take. Just for the one take, bro.
All right.
We talking about balling. I mean, what is the blacktop mentality to you?
The blacktop mentality is just constantly elevating yourself, going out there and getting after it. Open up your shell, go outside, put your shoes on, and do what you love to do every day. Whether you going to fund your business or running a business outside of home, or working out in the gym. Some people be scared to get in the gym because of the way they look. They think that they feel out of place, but just go do it. They all on the blacktop. Why you ain't on the blacktop? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna naturally get stronger and grow and elevate with the people around you, because it's uncomfortable to you, but at the same time, you're gonna push through it. And the blacktop mentality is just staying consistent, staying persistent, and going hard at what you do every single day, despite the days that you don't want to do it. Go hard. There may be some days that you don't want to. Reach out to a friend. Hey, bro, help me today, bro. I need help getting in the gym today. You know what I mean? And that's what the blacktop mentality is to me. So.
Blacktop, we gonna ball, man. Get out there and hustle for it all, man, because it's on the blacktop.
23 minutes. That ain't shit.
That's on the blacktop.
We need more topics on that motherfucker, bro.
What y'all want to talk about, man?
We can shoot another episode, though. Shit.
Leave it in the comment section. Let us know what y'all want us to talk about on the next podcast. We're going to read each and every single one of them. We appreciate y'all input. We appreciate y'all, all the real ones that watched it all the way to this part of the video. Man, I see you right there. Click the like button. If you ain't already,
click the like button.
If you didn't do it already, I know y'all, man, it's all love. So, shit. That's Mike.
It's D.
It's Marty. We're on the blacktop. Keep balling. Keep shooting. Keep dribbling. You know what I'm saying? Go hard. Be persistent. Write them goals down. And
give them some homework, bro.
Day.
Give them some
homework. That thing that you've always wanted to do, whatever passion you have or whatever you love to do, or the thing you want to start doing to make money, write the first step down of how you can start moving towards that every single day, and keep working towards it. Figure out what habits or bad vices you got to ditch so that you can start seeing some growth within yourself and creating results for yourself. What, you got some homework for him, Damien?
Yeah, I say everything you said, because that may be too much for him.
Yeah.
But just to actually take action within 72 hours, because anything over that you're going to forget about, and it's going to be, just some more information that came inside one ear and out the other. So just really implementing any information that you feel like can benefit you. If you just compound that over time, you know, you'll be in a much better position rather than just letting everything go over your head, and not taking advantage of the time that individuals are taking down to sit and give you from what's benefited us. So
Hey, I never like homework, but y'all should definitely do this one. You know what I'm saying? So that's
The homework gonna
to
help
you.
you pass that test you want to pass, that wherever you want to get, wherever your destination is, it's gonna help you get there. You do that homework, you study. You know what I mean? You don't be in school and try to pass a test if you don't study. You want to pass a test of life and do what you truly want to do your homework. You know what I'm saying? And study that. So we on the blacktop. We balling. You know what I'm saying? Everybody balling. We all winning. If you liking this video, like and subscribe so you can drop more content, comment, whatever ideas you got. Shit, we out.